Facebook and Twitter and whatever else they've got out there for us. So we appreciate that. We've asked Kyle Dart to give our inspirational message and prayer. If he'd like to come up now. Come right here and look at our faces. Don't look at them. Okay. Yeah. It's because you got to look in the camera.
I see.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be here. I want to start by just thanking each of you for what you do for our community, for the time and effort that you guys make, as well as all the other city employees. We have a great community, and we know that community is made great by the work of a lot of people. And so I just want to say thanks to all the city employees and everyone who works hard to make Spanish Fork a great place to live. In light of the fact that Mother's Day is on Sunday, I thought that I might share a quick thought on mothers. There are two quotes that are attributed to Abraham Lincoln, and so I guess he said it. All I have to say is it's attributed, and that means he said it. But the first one, Abraham Lincoln said, "I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life." And then he also said, "All that I am or ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother." And as I think about these two quotes, I think that each of us can probably echo the sentiments of Abraham Lincoln, that everything we are or hope to be, we probably owe to our mother. And at any given time, we've thought about the prayers that our mothers have offered on our behalf, and those prayers have helped us through times in our life. As I am a part of the community, as I do my job, and as I am involved in youth sports and other things, I see this happen a lot, whether it be a mom praying for the safety of her child, or praying that their daughter will nail her dance routine, or in my case, my mom praying that her son can hit a curveball. Moms make a big difference in each of our lives individually. And as they make a big difference in each individual life, that in turn makes a difference in the community, because it's individuals that make up a community. And so at this time, I think it's appropriate to just pay tribute to all the moms of Spanish Fork, to thank them for their tireless efforts, for their sacrifices, and for all that they do for their children. I thank my mom, I thank my wife, who's the mother of my kids, and all of the moms out there who do such a wonderful work and make wonderful people, and these wonderful people make up a community. So thanks to all the moms out there. And now I go forward with a prayer? Okay. Our kind and eternal Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity we have to be here at the City Council meeting. We're grateful for the land that we live in that gives us the opportunity to live our lives in freedom, and for those who have fought for us to provide us with that freedom. We're grateful for the men and women who are here and who make up the leadership of our community and provide such great services to all of us. We pray that thou will bless those who are in attendance this night, and bless those who have the responsibility and obligation to make decisions on behalf of our city and our community. They might be guided and directed with inspiration, that they will make wise decisions, and decisions that will benefit generations to come. We are grateful for them and for their sacrifices and time and effort. Father, we're grateful for the blessings we enjoy, for the opportunities that we have, and we again thank thee for all that we have, and pray for thy constant guidance and direction in all of our lives. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. I've asked Rod Dart to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Repeat the pledge after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Also, I'd like to excuse two of our council members. Councilman Scobes is in Arizona with the military drill, and Councilman Gordon celebrating Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. So he's gone down there. Okay, we've got some young ladies here that would probably like to come and address us. We've got the Strawberry Days, Miss Spanish Fork, or no, Miss Pleasant Grove, sorry. You know, if you came over here, you could be Miss Spanish Fork too, you know. So we'd like to have you guys come up, introduce yourselves, and tell us why you're here.
Hi, I'm Jessie Beck, and I'm Miss Pleasant Grove 2015.
I'm Sierra McCurdy, and I'm the first attendant.
I'm Brittany, and I'm the second attendant.
I'm Jessica Matheson, I'm the third attendant.
I'm Eliza Chevrolet, fourth attendant.
We are here to bring you some cheesecake and to invite you to Strawberry Days, which is held in June, the third week. We have a lot of events, including a baby contest. We have a concert in the park with strawberries and cream, free strawberries and cream. We also have a parade and a children's parade and some wonderful events, so we just like to invite you. We have our rodeo queen here as well.
Awesome.
She can talk to you about the rodeo.
Hi, I'm Victoria Hall. I'm actually the first attendant. Our rodeo queen couldn't be here tonight, but her name is Bailey Noble, and the second attendant is Mikkel Wall. And we'd like to invite you to our rodeo, which is June 17th through the 20th. We have some great activities, and it's going to be a hoot, holler, and time, as always. So we invite you to come and enjoy the strawberries and cream and some good friends and good events that we have going on.
Right. Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate you guys coming and inviting us and, you know, always bringing us treats. We always love that.
Yeah, that's always the best part.
That's the best part. That's when we see you guys, we know, all right, we got some treats coming, so.
That's good. You need to have the strawberries and cream, so you have to come.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
Right.
thank you.
So much. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you for
We love
coming over.
Pleasant Grove. Thank you.
Yes,
Enjoy.
appreciate that. Okay, we've got some people here to do a special presentation. I'm going to ask Jeff TD to come up and bring all your people and explain to us what you're doing and at this time.
Well, actually, we're going to change this a little bit.
Oh, you're Ryan? Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
So, I'm sure you
You
guys
know.
all know me, but
Yeah, well, no, you're going to tell us from TV
Ryan
land.
Baum, as those, I guess, up on the TV don't know, I spent all of 2013 in Afghanistan. I'm also a city employee. When you're away like that, you really appreciate the community you come from and what makes the community so great. So I'd like to ask Dave if you'd step up here. Going all the way back to September 11th, 2001, I watched the second tower fall on that TV right there in the lobby. And throughout that day, we discussed the possibilities of us going to war. And I run into Mary Claire and I said, we need to do something about our military paragraph, which was only 2 lines at the time in our employee handbook. And she said, let me get with Dave and we'll come up with something better. And I think Spanish Fork goes above and beyond taking care of our own employees that are part of the National Guard, but also anybody in the Garden Reserve in the community has a lot of things that support them. We do a fire truck parade for everybody returning from deployment, which, having been on the giving end of that probably 4 dozen times and the receiving end one time, is very, very special, not just for the service member, but more so for my spouse, who's here with me tonight, my sons, my dear mother, who probably sobbed away 7 gallons of liquid that day. Makes a big deal. The fact that we've made provisions for the service member while they're deployed to get a benefit on a reduction in their utility bills. And I really felt like as we had this opportunity to do these awards, when I come back from deployment, that the driving force behind all that, and no offense to you guys, but you do come and go. And Dave's been here, and he's been the driving force through all that, through all of my 14 years with the city. And so I wanted to nominate you for this Patriot Award, Dave. And these guys are gonna have this for you. We got a lapel pin. Hope you wear it proudly. I will. And we'll let them do their spiel, but thank you so much for all the support.
You got to pin him on. You got to pin him.
Oh, gee. You have to kiss him after you do that? Like,
You're like the Navy SEALs.
come on.
He's gone.
He's not going to bite.
There we
Congratulations. Thank you. Well, yeah, congratulations. Thank you for all you do.
This is, I'll speak for just a second, but we, in the employer support of the Garden Reserve, we want to make sure that we let the employers know how, like Ryan said, he couldn't have done, or he couldn't have completed his mission without the support of those people that were here to help him and his family. And we honor patriotic employers that support the men and women of the military, just like what Ryan said. So this is a patriotic employer award by the Department of Defense to Dave Euler. So thank you, Dave.
Now it's my turn.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. What? Who you are? Okay. My name is Jeff Teedy, and I am the chairman for the Utah Committee of the Employer Support of Garden Reserve. What ESGR is a Department of Defense office created in 1972 to promote cooperation between businesses and our reserve component people. Any idea how many percentage-wise of our forces are volunteer reservists and National Guard? Any idea? It's about 48%. Yeah, it is 48%. About half of our military is made up of guys like Ryan. Without him, we don't have a force. And these guys dress like us, they come to work, they have families to support, they help their community, help with their church, and the only difference is they might have a little bit shorter haircut. But the difference is, what separates them from us is they volunteer to do dangerous things in faraway places. And those activities help to protect our freedoms that we take for granted quite often. And because of that, today, the reason that presentation is important, that the city of Spanish Fork is a very driving part of that, so we can have employers, so we can have guys like Ryan help out. And we're going to have the honor, and you have earned the right, and you're now a patriotic partner, to sign a Department of Defense statement of support. So Mayor, come on up and sign, please. Or should I come to you? What would be better?
You can just bring it up here and I can. Right here?
Yep, right there. And just put today's date on.
And it's,
May 5th. May 5th. There we go. Congratulations. And what do we want to do with this? Basically, you've earned the right to have the statement of support, and you want to put it in a prominent position in your place of employment here, so your employees, your coworkers, and customers, when they come in, they can see this and you can share it with them. Once again, congratulations. Would it be okay to take a couple pictures?
jeez.
Camera? She's taking the lead, right? Ah, okay, perfect. Look at her. There you go. Congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
Tell us when to smile. No, let's get Kim in. Come on, Kim. All right, I'll lean on this.
Thank you so
Very
much.
welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Jeff.
All of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I will.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, and a well-deserved honor by Dave, and we appreciate Ryan nominating him for that. That was awesome, so thank you. Okay, let's move on to public comments. Anybody here from the public would like to come up and address the mayor and city council? Seeing none, we'll go to council comments. Councilman Mendenhall.
Not too much, Mayor. The Chamber of Commerce will have its monthly board meeting this Thursday at 7 o'clock. So we'll get an update of what May holds in store for the chamber and the businesses. Then the Rotary and Chamber Golf Tournament is on May 21st, Thursday, May 21st. So if you haven't signed up yet, there might still be a few spots to, Jesse, I expect you up there to your old stomping grounds and play some golf and have a good time. Other than that, I thought going into Little League season here, I've got just went and got my hats and shirts for the Coach Pitch Cubs that will be, I'm sure, a powerhouse this year in the City League.
If their name's the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs. They'll be okay, Rod. Don't worry. We don't have the same luck as the real Cubs. But we're looking tough, and we're going to have a practice this week, and be exciting to be playing some baseball in the coming weeks. So thankful to the rec department, all they do to organize this. That's a large feat to just go from one to the other, from baseball to soccer to everything, basketball, back to everything else. But as I was thinking of what to say to these kids and kind of prep for the upcoming season, I found a little poem that I know Brandon's usually the poem guy here on the council, so Mayor, I'm kind of.
I'm sure he's watching.
Did you write it?
I didn't write it.
Okay, then you're, and he's safe.
Yeah, I don't know who to give credit for, but I saw this online and thought it was something to maybe remind everybody as we go into Little League season here to avoid Chief Adams' department meeting anybody at the rec department fields. But it says he's just a little boy. It says he stands at the plate with his heart pounding fast. The bases are loaded. The die has been cast. Mom and Dad cannot help him. He stands all alone. A hit at this moment would send his team home. The ball meets the plate. He swings and misses. There's a groan from the crowd with some boos and some hisses. A thoughtless voice cries, "Strike out the bum." Tears fill his eyes. The game's no longer fun. So open up your heart and give him a break, for it's moments like this a man you can make. Keep this in mind when you hear someone forget. He is just a little boy and not a man yet. So I think it can apply with all of our little leagues, boys and girls this year, just to remind everybody that we're out there for fun and to have a good time, and it's a way for our little boys and little girls to grow up to be men and women. So that's it, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Councilman Dart.
Just a couple things. The city library is busy planning summer reading programs, so if you have kids or teens or whatever, get in and check out what the library's got going on for summer activities. Also, at the end of this month, on the 30th, is the Champions Challenge. If you have not got your tickets to that rodeo, I would encourage you to go out and get them, because you will see the top cowboys in every event, and it's almost, if not better than being at the NFR for one night. It's really good rodeo and the best there are, so I think the tickets are starting to move, aren't they, Dale?
Yep.
So get online and get your Champions Challenge on 30th of May. Starts at 8 o'clock. That's all I have.
Great. Councilman Davis.
Mayor, the only thing I have is we met last night with the Fiesta Days meeting, and we talked about some of the issues coming in with Fiesta Days, but one of the events that we're going to have this year is the Millennial Choir. It will be Friday, July 17th at 8:30. We had an opportunity, me and the mayor and our chair people from Fiesta Days went up last week at Bravenal Hall and listened to them. They're going to do a patriotic choir, during Fiesta Days. They will have 600 participants here to sing and have an orchestra. It was fantastic. I'm just suggesting that the city of Spanish Fork, anybody that would love to come and listen to a great orchestra and choir sing, this millennial choir is truly the one to come and watch, and we're going to have it right here in Spanish Fork at the fairgrounds. We're doing it at the fairgrounds to try something a little different. Hopefully it will be a success, but it will be a success because of the city of Spanish Fork. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Also, I'd just like to remind, and following on that note of that choir, it was unbelievable. I took my mom with me, and she hasn't stopped talking about it for days now, and it was pretty impressive. So it's a special treat to have them come down here, down and have an outdoor concert, and it ought to be pretty neat. So if you haven't got your tickets, go on SF Tix. Is that what it's called, Joe? Yeah, whatever. You let me know. And get your tickets. Go online. How's that? Go online and get your tickets. So that'll work. The other thing I'd like to remind the citizens of, this Saturday we're doing the Adopt the Planner. And so anybody would like to come down and help volunteer and do that, we appreciate that. You see how beautiful Main Street is down here? We really like to keep it that way. And with your help, it saves the city a lot of money, and it's a good service project. So we'd like to encourage everyone to come down and grab a flower and plant it. We'll be doing that for the next 2 Saturdays? Okay. So this Saturday and the following Saturday. Also, it's the ambulance open house this Saturday. So if you want to come down and see what our ambulance people do, that would be a great, is that at 9:30 or is that 10? Do you know, Steve? Okay. 10 to 12:30. So come down to the fire station, and they'll take you through and show you what they do. We really appreciate those individuals. Once again, there's another service that they provide for our city that saves us all a lot of money, and we appreciate their service. Okay, let's move on to Spanish Fork 101, Discovering Spanish Fork Main Street.
This is really thrilling for me, and I guess I want to start by describing this project this way. Like we just talked about, we have volunteers every spring and in the fall that come down to work on our planners. We have volunteers that make our recreation programs work, volunteers that make different components of our public safety operation be great. Spanish Fork City, I mean, we take a lot of pride in the fact that people give a lot to the community here. And I feel like with this project here, it's really our opportunity, among other things, to take advantage of some other people's willingness to give their time to us. So we'll be doing a project next week, which is the culmination of an ongoing effort that's been in motion now for a few years, where we've been selected to be the first community in Utah to participate in something called the Community Planning Assistance Team program that's administered by the American Planning Association. And what this program does is it essentially matches communities that have specific projects with professionals, typically from around the country, that are willing to give their time and expertise to a community. So in this case, we made application. We turned in the application 11 months ago, found out about 8 or 9 months ago that we'd been selected to participate in this program. And since that time, a team's been assembled by the American Planning Association. Several of you have had a chance to meet our team leader. She was out here with another gal in December to help us try to put together a vision for a portion of our Main Street, kind of the old central business district, our downtown, with the hope and expectation of making that part of the community simply the best that it can be. And with the understanding, of course, that likely nothing's going to change overnight, but we know that change is constantly occurring. We've seen things change in the last month downtown, and that'll continue to be the case. And as those changes occur, as new things develop, as new buildings are built, as the uses of buildings are adapted to new things, we think it's very important to have some kind of guidance in place that makes sure that we're moving in the direction that everybody is comfortable with, the direction that, like I said, is going to make that part of the community the best that it can be. And that's really what this project is about. So we have 6 professionals that'll be in town for a week. We have a number of events that I'll talk about here in just a second, planned for the week. And we really need, this isn't want, we really need a strong representation of people from the community to come to some of these events. The strength of the effort largely is going to hinge on our ability as city staff and this team's ability to talk to the right people and to get the right input on the project. So we've tried to design a few things that hopefully will give people a reason to spend some time with us and share their thoughts and ideas. I'll go through a couple of things, and then, maybe with the mayor's consent, watch a brief commercial that's been put together that I think's outstanding piece of work. But number one, we really hope to take advantage of people's time. Monday night, we'll have a barbecue just across the street here from us at the city park. The mayor's going to be cooking. Got a great menu prepped. It should be fun, if nothing else. But aside from being fun, we really hope that people come willing to give us a few of their thoughts and ideas. We'll be over there from 5 to 8 o'clock, give or take maybe a little bit. And we'll just simply go until the food runs out. There are a couple of other things later in the week that I'll touch on in just a second, but maybe the point that I didn't emphasize back on the concept of volunteering, the people that'll be coming here to Spanish Fork, these are professionals. I have to think for a second. We have one that's a professional educator that works for a university. Otherwise, I think they're all self-employed with different consulting practices, and they're giving Spanish Fork City not just a week of their time next week, but they have given us, at this point, hundreds of hours of time in preparation for this week. And it's a wonderful thing, and I'm truly grateful for them and their willingness to give the way that they have. Frankly, I think it's something they enjoy. They seem to all have a passion for it. This team that has been assembled is an outstanding group, and incidentally, it's been assembled based on a request that we made. We told APA who we thought we needed as part of the team, and they must have concurred because they went and found, for example, an urban economist that can help us try to figure out what might be financially feasible. Where maybe do we have some holes in terms of what type of business might be able to succeed downtown. The team leader has her own professional urban planning practice, and she specializes in downtown revitalization. This is what she does for other communities for a fee, and that's how her practice works. We have a transportation expert, outstanding guy from Louisiana, that he's already had many conversations with Terry Newell, our UDOT Region 3 director, to talk about different things that can happen. I've got an architect, a gal that specializes in public input and just facilitating meetings. Great group is what I'm trying to emphasize. I'm really excited, looking forward to it, a little bit anxious. And maybe with that, we'll take a look at a commercial, and you guys can ask any questions you might have. I'm hoping we have sound here.
Hi, I'm Mike Mendenhall. If you're like me, downtown Spanish Fork holds some very cherished memories. We grew up on Main Street. We shopped here and got our hair cut here. But now, Main Street is showing its age.
You might just have to
Got a plan B
improvise.
we can go with here too.
No, it was there, wasn't it? It jumped down to my screen.
Hi, I'm Mike Mendenhall. If you're like me, downtown Spanish Fork holds some very cherished memories. We grew up on Main Street. We shopped here and got our hair cut here. But now, Main Street is showing its age. It has a lot of competition from the growing areas of our great community. But as a city, we have decided that Main Street means too much to us, and we want to reverse that trend. Main Street can again be a thriving success story. But to do this, Spanish Fork City wants your input. The city, the Chamber of Commerce, and others have partnered with the American Planning Association on a project we refer to as Discover Spanish Fork Main Street, creating a vibrant, active, and sustainable downtown. The professionals from APA have already started to research our community and will spend a week in Spanish Fork in May, from May 10th to May 16th. During that week, there will be several events that will give you the opportunity to listen and to share your ideas about Main Street. The kickoff event will be a barbecue with the mayor Monday, May 11th at 5 p.m. in the city park behind the library. We invite you and your family and your friends to come enjoy some good eating and a chance to talk about Main Street. On Tuesday, May 12th, will be a community drop-in at City Hall. Between 1 and 5 p.m., you will be able to have an open discussion with the APA team about downtown. This is where some serious conversations will take place, and we would love to hear your input. Starting at 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday the 13th will be the walking workshop. Beginning at City Park behind the library, you can take a walk along Main Street and learn about some of the options to improve the vibrancy of downtown. Thursday evening will be a community open house at the City Park at the library. Come enjoy a presentation from the APA team on the possible future of Main Street. This is going to be a great week for Spanish Fork, a rebirth of sorts for Main Street. We invite you to join in the conversation. Spanish Fork is a better place because of you and your ideas. Come share them. For more information, you can visit our website, SpanishFork.org/downtown, or contact the Community Development Department at 801-804-4580.
May have missed your call.
I had to turn off my phone.
He'll be available after city council for autographs, so.
We really do appreciate Councilman Mendenhall's willingness to help us with that as well. John Bocat's people, with relatively short notice. I think that's outstanding work. I really do appreciate that. We have a web page here that people can find from the city's website just by going to the community development page. It has more information about the different things that are going to be going on during the week, a little bit more information about the project. If anybody has any questions, I'll just repeat it, 801-804-4580. We'd love to answer any questions anybody might have. We've got a few different opportunities, mechanisms by which people can give us their thoughts and ideas. We'd love to chat. Love to see everybody here. More than anything, though, I think on Monday. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll end with that plug there and appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Very good.
Okay. Let's move on to the consent items.
Just talked about the program. There is an agreement that we hope that you'll approve between the American Planning Association and Spanish Fork City. Like I mentioned, the people that'll be here, they're volunteering their time. What we pay for are their travel expenses and the expenses that they incur on their visits. We'll pay for meals, hotel rooms, flights, and a rental car, basically is what it amounts to. That's what we're obligating ourselves to. I think the real purpose of the agreement from APA's perspective is they want to make their intentions very clear to the community. So you'll see in the agreement that they've spelled out what for me are basically a set of deliverables that they'll provide. Again, I think they want to make sure that expectations are understood before the team hits the ground. And that's the real purpose for the agreement. But what we're committing to, frankly, we've already committed to. We did that when we submitted the application. So again, it's just their expenses.
Okay.
Next item is an agreement for a program that will help us do our blue staking. Blue staking is where we mark on the ground where utilities are. And
Before or after you dig?
I am not aware of any city that has more utilities to blue stake than our city. And we cover it with just one guy. He's he used to be in computers before he came over to us, and so he understands computers really well, and he's been able to use mapping programs to just handle it all on his own. He does a great job. This program will help him do that more efficiently, especially as we grow and have more blue stakes. Any questions about that? Next item is a contract modification with RB&G Engineering. They're doing the soils testing at the airport. There is a third and final phase of the runway extension, and this is to have them do the materials testing for that phase.
Okay.
I get an item. Yay. So this is to approve the contract with Deseret Digital. That's the people that we've been using to stream on our website the live broadcast, and actually our entire Channel 17 is being broadcast on that. So if you go to sfcn.org and you take the watch a live stream of Spanish Fork 17, it currently says beta because we haven't signed the contract, it's not all agreed upon. If you click there, it gives you the ability to actually watch. I should get to see myself. Oh, I had to watch a commercial first. But you can also take that for the mobile version, and you can have it on your phone. So you can watch the city council meetings and the baseball and basketball and football and all the other things that we do. You can watch just a live stream on your phone. So, oh, there I am.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be surprised how many people, native Spanish Forkers, who watch sporting events and whatever, all over the country and world.
I hear from them, so it is. It's a great feature that we can offer people that have lived here. So, there's the back of my head.
Hey, you look nice.
Your best side.
It's kind of weird seeing yourself, isn't it, Mike?
It is a little weird. Yeah.
It's a little weird. This is a $0. Really, this is just so that everybody knows exactly where we stand. There isn't any requirements for us to do anything other than give them a little warning if we decide we want to turn it off and do it ourselves or something like that. So it's a $0 contract. We just need it to be approved.
Thanks, John. Do a great job.
Hey, just to piggyback real quick on the people watching it, that Rod said, I talked to some people last week about going out to Meals on Wheels a couple months ago with the Meals on Wheels people close by. Out of the 7 people that we visited, 6 of them knew, who I was and knew what was going on in the city. If you don't think people are watching it, the greatest generation that can't get out of their house sometimes and make it to meetings and things like that, they watch it religiously. So
They do.
What's going on. So good work.
Okay, on the Centricom, it's a franchise agreement with a company that has some fiber and telecommunications coming through Spanish Fork. And then a correction on that modification number 1, RB&G, this is on the trail. You've already approved the one on the airport, so.
We'll forgive you this time.
All right. I would move we approve the consent items.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Dart, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that does approve. Okay. Easement abandonment. Junior, you can take care of that for us.
Thank you, Mayor. We're seeking to abandon an easement. This is an electrical easement that was recorded back in 1997. It's out in the Expressway Shopping Center. That's where Kmart is, Expressway Lube, Arby's. This electrical easement doesn't have any electrical in it. We've never used it. Chick-fil-A wants to come and be a member of our community, and they want to go right there. And as they come, as part of their site plan, they'll give us a public utility easement along the side of the parcel there, and that will suffice our needs as far as easements go. So we're proposing that we abandon that electrical easement and open up the way for Chick-fil-A to come to our community. Mayor, this is a public hearing, so it'll be appropriate to take public comment.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Davis, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are now in public hearing. Anybody from the public would like to come up and address this issue, you're welcome to come up. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Dart, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any other discussion on this? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 10-15, abandoning an easement in Expressway Square Shopping Center development.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Davis, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. Since this is an ordinance, we'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Dart?
Aye.
Councilman Davis?
Aye.
Councilman Mendenhall?
Aye.
That passes. Okay, new business. Resolution for apprentice line work employment agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have an agreement that we'd like to present to you and have your authorization to enter into for the apprenticeships that we have in our electric program. We hire an apprentice every once in a while. It's not often, but it seems like we always have at least one apprentice within our program. Right now we have two. We're about ready to hire a third as we've lost a journey line worker to another entity. As we've lost 3 journey line workers in the last probably 5 years, and some of them were avoidable in that, you know, they maybe went for a higher paying job. Some of them were kind of unavoidable where they were maybe returning home closer to where they came from or closer to family. And we don't really think that we can keep everyone maybe in Spanish Fork if somebody's, say, from St. George. I agree. But one thing that we do with an apprentice is we put a lot of time and a lot of money into training an apprentice. Usually it's a 4-year program. Some might come to us with a little bit more training, so it might be 3 or 2 years. Generally, it's at least a 2-year apprenticeship, but usually it's a 4-year apprenticeship, which means that while we're training the apprentice, we're paying them some kind of a salary, and it's a good wage. We pay their tuition, we pay their books, we pay for a week of training that they end up going down to, usually in St. George, called Hotline. All told, we spend during the 4 years about $12,000 on hard costs for training, in addition to the salary that we might pay that employee. Also, we pay their supervisor's time. The supervisor spends a lot of time training the apprentice. Other line workers spend time working alongside of and teaching the apprentice how to do certain things and really getting their hours met as a requirement for the apprenticeship. So we're proposing in this contract that apprentices be required to stay for at least 3 years with some kind of a contractual financial obligation that they repay if they leave prior to 3 years some amount of money. And the contract that we had in the agenda had a scale that if they left within 6 months of becoming a journey line worker, they'd repay all of that, up to $12,000 in what we've calculated for today's costs. If they leave within the first 3 months after becoming a journey line worker. And then every 6 months that scale reduces just a little bit. And at the final few months, it comes down to 16, 12, 8, and 4% in that 35th month. So that's the first part of this. The second part of this is that it's a routine contract and something that we're presenting to you tonight, and rather than bring it to you and burden you with the timing, we're asking for the authorization that the city manager or his designee, and likely the public works director, when we enter into one of these kind of employment agreements with the apprentice, that the staff just be authorized to sign that with the employee as well. We're not necessarily committing ourselves to anything that we wouldn't have done otherwise because we've hired the person. Really, it's a contract holding the apprentice to the requirement to repay if they leave before that 3-year time frame. Any questions about that? Any thoughts?
Is this a common practice with other entities?
Great question. So after this one that's left us recently, we did a little bit of research with other cities. We had a little bit of a repayment clause, which wasn't specific to apprentices, more just for our tuition reimbursement program. And we called all of the cities that have power utilities that are our size or greater. And this is very common. We were unusual. There was only one city that was larger than us that didn't have something more than what we are currently doing. And in fact, I don't think they had anything at all. But they were the anomaly. And
okay. And did you? What's the feeling within the department? Do they think the linemen themselves? Do they think this is a good policy?
So I haven't spoken with all the linemen. There's one behind me. If you want to ask him, you can.
I knew I could get you up here.
I have spoken at length with the superintendent, and he's very much in favor of this. And maybe the gentleman behind my shoulder could give a nod up or down. But
Well, going to that point, I think what we do is if these guys went somewhere else and went to school and had to pay for their own tuition, they would pay a lot more than what
they
they're
would
doing.
pay the cost really, and we're giving them in essence a full tuition scholarship. It's not an uncommon practice, right? Like the Army, they have a 4-year commitment type of thing.
That's right. So,
Well, I think it only makes sense personally.
Well, sorry, and one thing we are proposing with this, or one thing that we would do by practice is we would only do it from here on out. So we have 2 apprentices that are currently in the system. This wouldn't grab them. They didn't sign on with this kind of in front of them. So we would do it with the next hires and then on. Did you have a question, Councilman?
Just that this stuff kind of makes sense is, to piggyback on what the mayor says, I mean, there's key positions, and I'm sure this is what this is after, key positions in the city where you hire a good employee, not only hire a good employee, but a key employee that you train and spend that money on, and Chief's department can speak to the same kind of stuff. You want to keep those people around. I think to have a city be a stepping stone of sorts, to have people just, learn how to do something and then move on, is not what we want to be. The people that keep our,
Especially
water running, keep our lights on, and keep
if
us
you've
safe.
poured money into training them.
Yeah. So that was my question.
Would this be applicable to other departments?
So right now we have a tuition reimbursement program that will give an employee up to $2,000 a year to go and get higher education assistance. And this type of program applies there. We require, if they get money for, say, a bachelor's degree or some kind of advanced degree, we would require them to pay that back if they leave within a year after getting that. But we felt like this is a lot greater than that. We spend, and really it's not just about the $12,000, it's about the supervisor's time and the employee's time. You add that all up, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially. So there's a greater exposure there. There are a few other areas where we could, but we don't quite have the curriculum built into it. Like a police officer, we don't pay for them to go through post. They have to come to us with that certification, so there's nothing really there we could probably connect it to.
Well, but don't you, I think this has an effect positive rather than negative in that the apprentice that comes through here and knows that you can't, I don't want to pay that for 3 years, so I don't want to leave.
Right.
Probably sticks, for much longer than that, and lights and everything else.
And after, that would be generally, maybe 7 years into their time with us. And if somebody isn't in love with Spanish Fork after 7 years, we don't want them. We don't want them.
Yeah.
Right, Councilman Dart?
That's right.
exactly. Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Well, I'd move we approve resolution number 15-06. Resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to enter into an employment contract with apprentice line workers.
I second.
Got a motion by Councilman Dart, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. We'll do this on a roll call vote. Councilman Mendenhall.
Aye.
Councilman Davis.
Aye.
Councilman Dart.
Aye.
That passes. Okay, Kent, our favorite thing. Yeah. So, 2016. Oh, are you gonna do it? Holy cow.
He's the one that wrote it.
There we go. We've got our tentative budget presentation.
Ken said it was my turn.
Well, good. And we were getting tired of Kent. He was wearing the wrong color shirt today. Oh, Spanish Fork was playing, then you're all right. Let's see, we were televising that.
Did Jesse request that this is before his item, or is it?
You all right, Jesse?
You all right?
Hanging in?
Where else can you be entertained like this?
We won't drag it on too long here. Tonight, we're presenting the tentative budget for fiscal year 2016. And this is a accumulation of a lot of effort of the department directors putting all the numbers together for next year's budget. So there's some exciting things in here, some positive things that are happening, and we'll just take a little bit of time going over some of it, not all of it. As an outline, today we present the tentative budget. The first meeting in June, you have the public hearing to review the budget. And then the second meeting in June, we typically adopt the budget for the next year. So tonight, you're adopting a tentative budget, and then you and citizens or anybody else has the opportunity to review the budget, give their input, and then once all the input is gathered, then you make some decisions and either make adjustments in the budget or you adopt the budget. The budget will be posted online later tonight, so the citizenry can look at it if they have questions. The budget starts with an index, and then we have the budget letter. So I'm just going to take a minute and go over some of the main aspects of the budget letter that addresses some of the more important parts of the budget. So we'll start with the revenue side. The general fund typically generates most of its revenue from taxes and fees. The tax that we generate most of the revenue from is our sales tax, our energy taxes, and then our property tax. Sales tax, energy tax, and property tax combine to create enough revenue in order to fund those services such as police, fire, library, streets, and engineering. Those are your general fund services. Even with that, we still come up a little short in funding the general fund. So what we also transfer is we transfer a dividend from the enterprise funds. We've done this for years. This year, the dividend will be transferred from all of the utilities, 4.5%, and that dividend will come out of each of the enterprise funds to help operate the general fund functions. One of the reasons you have one of the lowest property tax rates in the county, if not the lowest property tax rate of a city our size, is because you're able to make those dividend transfers. Sales tax is coming along strong. Sales tax typically through the years has been the revenue that we've used to pay for the adjustments in labor costs. And through the recession, we did not have a lot of adjustments in labor costs. But now that we're coming out of that recession, we're trying to catch up and bring salaries where they need to be. Our health insurance did not decrease during the recession. In fact, it increased. Our health insurance increases this year are 7.7%. So those increases in labor costs are typically paid for through the increases in the sales tax. The enterprise funds, there's no dramatic changes in the revenue on the enterprise funds. Chris is recommending this year that we adjust the sewer rate. You recall we adjusted the first phase of the sewer rate in February, and he's recommending that we make the second part of that adjustment here in July. So the sewer rate adjustment goes from a base rate of $15.29 to $16.59, and then per 1,000 gallon it goes from $1.42 to $1.52. That's his recommendation in order for the sewer, both the sewer plant and the sewer collection system, to generate enough revenue to maintain capital replacement of equipment and the operation of the facilities. Electric continues to be adjusted with the power cost adjuster. You know, everybody knows that power is going up because of coal restrictions and other environmental issues, is increasing the cost of power. Those costs, as the power increases or decreases, are adjusted monthly in our electric rate. Some of the big items we have are some of the capital funds. In the general fund this year, we're not going to have a lot of projects. There's a few smaller projects. I won't take the time to go over those at this time. There'll be a couple of small projects in the parks and some major projects in the streets, but most of those projects will be paid for out of the B&C Road Fund. Those are monies we automatically receive from the state for our share of the gas tax. The enterprise funds, again, Chris is trying to make sure that all of our enterprise functions, water, sewer, power, that we're maintaining those facilities, that they're upgraded, and that your power stays on, and that the water is delivered in a manner that it's clean. So he automatically puts in his budget the funds that he needs in order to improve and repair those capital projects in the enterprise funds. Staffing, I've touched on that a little bit as far as the benefits, the health insurance, retirement. You recall a few years ago the state dramatically increased the cost for retirement. They have now leveled off. So this year there is one minor adjustment in, I think it's the Tier 2 employees, but everybody else is pretty constant. So there are no increases, substantial increases in retirement. We are adding 3.5 full-time positions this year. We're also eliminating the equivalent of one full-time position, so the net is 2.5 full-time positions. There'll be a full-time position in the cemetery, one in the parks, and a new police officer, and a half-time prosecutor in Junior's office. We've added 3 police officers, I think, in the last 2 years, right, Steve? Steve's requested additional officers, and as we get into next year's budget, we'll see what funds are available in next year's budget. Which kind of brings me to the point of, in the general fund, the revenue to add new employees to do capital projects is pretty well maxed out. So when you need to add full-time fire people, when you need to add additional full-time employees in the general fund, there's not a lot of other revenue sources to go to get those funds. So there will be added pressure in future years as far as the property tax. One of the reasons your property tax is low again is because we're able to transfer the enterprise fund dividends. So that's just something that future councils need to be aware of is, you know, it is tight now with the property tax being low and transferring what you are out of the enterprise funds. So with that, let me also indicate debt service. Debt service starts in page 72 or 3, something back in there. But a few years ago, we decided to get into the broadband business, and we created another enterprise fund called SFCN, Spanish Fork Community Network. At that time, we bonded in order to acquire the funds to build the system. This budget is your last bond payment on SFCN. So that's some great news. This also comes timely because we're also looking at, and John has implemented in this year's budget, the beginnings of going fiber to the home. And with the additional funding that we have, not have to pay the bond, fiber to the home is your next natural step to make your system as modern as you can get it. So fiber to the home is now being implemented with this budget, and it will continue through the coming budget years now that the bond is being paid off. So the timing was just right. When we built the system, fiber to the home was impractical because it was too expensive. Technology was a lot different 15 years ago than it is today. Today, fiber to the home now becomes practical, and I think we've been able to serve our community and our citizens in a manner that saved them a lot of money and provided them top quality service through this time. So this is great news that this bond is now paid off or will be paid off. Another highlight in the budget is citizens will soon find that they'll be able to walk from beyond the golf course. The trail goes up a little ways up the river from the golf course. They'll be able to walk from there basically to the swimming pool, to the sugar factory, all along the river because of the river trail now being completed here in the next couple of weeks. The asphalt is all done but one little section on Main Street. The bridge was installed Friday. There will be the pedestrian bridge that'll take the walkers from one side of the river to the other, so they don't have to go across Main Street. They go under the bridge, Main Street traffic bridge, and then they can go across the pedestrian bridge over to the trail. So by the end of the month, the river trail will be completed. We'll be doing some more advertising on that project, and that, in my opinion, is one of the assets that the citizens will really enjoy. And we talked about that a few years ago when we started building the trail, that this is going to be a great asset. So along with what is being completed, we also have another grant that will be coming next year and the following year. Is it a 2-year process, Chris, for the other trail grant, which now will bring trails from the river back up to the bench. And so you'll have trails coming up by the fairgrounds, up to the cemetery, up Poplar Lane, and I think we've got another $3 million grant, approximately.
3.4 million, and a lot of the cost will be to take it up to the reservoirs.
So you'll be able to take it up to the reservoir, plus come back in different parts of the city and tie back into the trail without having to walk on the roads. So that'll be another great project that's happening. Then the last thing I want to touch on is we are creating a new capital projects fund. It will be the capital projects fund for the study, and this is just a study, of the feasibility of constructing a new library, rec center, city office, seniors facility. So again, we're studying that feasibility, and let me just indicate that on May the 12th, next week at 7 p.m. at the Larson School, there'll be a public information meeting, a public meeting for all of the citizens to attend and receive information and give input as to their feelings as to these facilities. The City Council has not made a commitment to build any facility at this stage. All we are looking at is studying the aspect of it. We have a citizens committee comprised of roughly 30 citizens who are giving input, meeting on a regular basis to review different aspects of these facilities. We also have another committee made up of the staff and some of the elected officials to review that input. So this is a study process, and if through the process the council determines that they want to proceed, then in the fall the citizens would have an opportunity to vote if this is really something that they wanted to do. So we just encourage the citizens to attend these public meetings. The first one will be again Tuesday, May the 12th at 7 p.m. at the Larson School. So with that, Mayor, we present to you, and Council, we present to you the tentative budget for next year. There's some great things in here, and I think it will provide adequate funding and adequate expenditures to continue providing to our citizenry great quality services. Any questions?
Looks good.
Okay, if there's any,
I've got one question. How many of these have you done in your career?
I don't know when I started. Sometime in the late 70s, early 80s, we started.
I want people to understand what a great job Dave does this. He goes underground for about 3 weeks, when it comes time to do this budget, and he spends a lot of time on it. So we appreciate all you do to put this together.
Thank you. It's been streamlined in the last few years with a lot of help from the department directors, so they put a lot of input into it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the 2016 tentative budget.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Dart, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The Ridge at Spanish Fork, preliminary plat approval extension.
The preliminary plat for the Ridge was approved by the City Council on May 6th of 2014. So unless a plat is recorded before the year anniversary of that date, which will happen here tomorrow, the project loses its vesting. That preliminary plat approval is nullified. We just recently approved a final plat for the project, and we expect that the applicant's going to be ready to have that recorded here in the next few weeks, if not a couple of months. So we expect that the 6-month extension, which has been requested, will be more than enough time for the applicant to have the plat recorded. And this is a project that we're fairly excited to see move forward. Just by way of a reminder, it's the townhome development near the intersection of 2550 East and Canyon Road. Jesse Brimhall, the applicant's here tonight. I'm sure he'd love to answer any questions that you have. But from staff's perspective, we have no concerns at all with the council granting this approval, if that's what you'd like to do.
Any questions?
Nope.
If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve the extension of the Ridge at Spanish Fork preliminary plat for the 6 months requested.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Mendenhall, a second by Councilman Davis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Do we have a closed session?
I move we go into closed session for reasonably imminent litigation and a land transaction.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Dart, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We will adjourn closed session. Thank you for everyone that was here. Appreciate that. Wait a minute. Wait, what, you're just tossing me to the side?
No. Just trying to,
Oh.
no.